Welcome to Three Geeks podcast number 22. Tonight we've got myself, Phil, Mike from Mike McGTV, and just in case you're curious, not Mexican. We got Max, and then we got Dan. Sorry, I had to take advantage of that, man. I clicked on your screen, tried to give you some advertisement, and I'm like, all right, people are going to wonder what that's there, so I've got to vocalize that. And I guess that works for our audio-only audience, which I've been slacking. I'll admit, I've been busy. So let's see. I guess what we really want to kick it off is, I guess we haven't had a podcast in about 2 weeks now. Last week we basically kind of did sports nerds, kind of around the Super Bowl, focused on that. But 2 weeks ago we had, our lovely Trump debate with a little bit of, talking about Marvel and Pearl Mutter and that whole thing. And boy, did we get some love. By love, I mean hate. And you know what? We consider it love because guess what? We got the highest views ever. So you know what? Those of you that hate us, I have to say thank you. Thank you so much. You propelled us higher than we ever would have. All right. So I guess, you know what? I'll start. I'll do the PSA, and then we'll go into everything else. All right. So we got a guy that out from Corte Madera, California, actually hit us up. They're trying to save their cinema. So right now the local city council is basically threatening to rezone this and basically no longer allow this single-screen theater, which I guess has been there since 1969. It has a 56-foot wide screen, has 637 seats, still sells out because the guy was telling us that, and they only show one thing because it's one screen, obviously. And they really do quite well. So far, Trevor Myers, the guy who sent this in, he's created a petition on change.org. So if you look up Corte Madera Cinema and you're from that area, absolutely sign it. I think he'll take signatures from elsewhere, but obviously local helps more. They have 1,500 already. They need 948. So if you're in the area, if you do listen to us, I hope so. Hopefully we can at least help out. And again, that's Corte Madera Cinema. All right, guys. How was everybody? Doing good? Mike?
He's like, that's great.
Feeling great. Feeling very communist-like.
That's good, but not Mexican.
But not Mexican.
Oh, man. But, all right. So you all want to kick off with Deadpool? Did any of you actually get to see Deadpool, I guess?
Oh, fuck yes, I did.
Yeah.
All right. Dan?
No. I went to the theater, but it was sold out, and I was sad. I went home.
Dan, you really are like our Eeyore. You kind of bring it right back down.
Yeah. Right. I was like, yeah, again, it's Deadpool, and we get up there, and they're like, yeah, we got 5 tickets left, and they're in, like, opposite corners of the theater, and I was like, yeah, no.
Why do you, I mean, fuck it. I would go anyway. Like, you're watching the movie anyway. It's not like you're talking and trying to have conversation with the people you went with.
Oh, I know, but
There's
nah.
all those damn 8-year-olds taking up seat space.
Yeah, see? I mean, they're all over the lobby. They're like, spraying ketchup everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, so it did 153 million, which I don't even think that was close to the projection. I think the projection was like 60 or 70 million, something like that, which still was good because that was going to make their money back. They've more than doubled that. They almost tripled it, in fact. The prediction is by tomorrow, since some people still have off, that they actually will triple it, which is ridiculous. But the movie was awesome. I did get a chance to see it.
It helps.
Go ahead.
It helps that it's one of the more modestly budgeted Marvel movies in a long time. Like, yeah, I think it was only a couple of mil or so that they did it for.
Yeah. I think the 60 million, is mostly other stuff, not what they actually paid to shoot the film.
Yeah.
And all the actors.
Well, marketing is like double, and this thing had a massive marketing campaign. So.
Oh yeah. It was effective, like we said 2 weeks ago. It was amazing. And then I'll come back to Max when we're not looking at the ceiling.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm alive.
Were you surprised? Did you expect it? Did you enjoy it?
I was thoroughly pleased. The only thing that I had a real problem with is that Colossus was in metal form the entire time, and he never comes out of it. But you can just see where they didn't have the budget to have him switch in and out. But other than that, Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I don't even know if I took a card from that. Oh well. Yeah, no, I really liked the movie. I had a blast watching it. I'd say they did a great job, and yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, so it's interesting as a result of kind of this explosion. A movie which hasn't really, well, I guess they had a decent, successful venture with the HBO animated series with Spawn. He's going to attempt. Todd McFarlane he's been attempting for the last, I don't know, at least 5 or 6 years to try and get a new movie made. Longer than that? Okay, Mike's telling me much longer than that.
He's been attempting since the first Spawn movie, which kind of sucks.
Oh man, yeah. So I don't see. I mean, I could see them greenlighting it maybe if he can do it under a budget. But really, what made this movie interesting was, I don't know if I want to say the script, but at least the concept. Spawn, I don't really see it being able to tap into a lot of what Deadpool did, which is the humor. It's going to be a very dark, action-oriented movie, which could be interesting, but I don't know if I see it working or happening. I mean, the movie wasn't very good, but the animated was decent. Diane, what are your thoughts?
I really liked the animated Spawn. I thought it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The movie, like, I bought the Blu-ray, like, a year and a half ago, and all the computer effects, like, look like shit. but it's I mean, I like it, but for, like, totally different reasons, because it's just kind of hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see another Spawn movie. Maybe they could get it right. I don't know.
Yeah. Max? Spawn? No Spawn?
The Spawn movie holds a certain place in my heart just because like it just aged so poorly.
Oh yeah.
The Spawn cartoon was pretty cool. I was down for that. If they're trying to do something else, and I'm sure why not? This is the age of the nerd. Let's have at it. Just hopefully that they have a bigger budget than they did for the '90s movie. Whatever they're doing.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe they don't need a bigger budget. I don't know, but we'll see. I just don't see it happening. But maybe they can, get somebody else to screenwrite it or get somebody to review it. That's the only concern.
Dude, no way.
Nice. Mike?
I just realized I should probably do some damage control really quick because I just realized I think Michael Jai White follows the Never Ending Radical Dude Twitter account. So if they were to do another Spawn movie, I think Michael Jai White would still be perfect as Spawn. There we go.
Michael Jai White was a terrible Spawn.
You're killing Nerd's Hollywood connection, man.
Hey,
now
I will tell Michael Jai White to his face that he was terrible in that Spawn movie. I will also get punched in the face by Michael Jai White.
And Max will be happy about it, right?
Go
ahead, Mike.
I feel if it was something in the vein of the animated series, it would be doable, and be fine. It's in this day and age too, or just bring back the animated series, honestly, because they left that on a cliffhanger that I got kind of angry about. There was stuff. There was gonna be hell babies and fighting for humanity and all kinds of loose ends left up in the air, and then nothing. So, if anything, bring back the animated series.
Yeah, I definitely think that could work. Dan, do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, because at the very end of the animated series, he tells Merlin that he wants to change, and then it ends. Like, good job there, demon guy.
Oh man, yeah. So recently, I guess yesterday or 2 days ago, I can't remember which, but Jason went out and posted to Twitter and kind of tried to get everyone's feedback and kind of see what everyone thought, at least of our followers, the worst superhero film ever.
Everybody else is going to be running.
So we've got Fantastic Four, which actually won from 2015, not the I don't even remember, 2000, early 2000s. And then at 35%, then you've got Batman and Robin at 27%, Superman 4 at 22%, and Wolverine Origins at 16%, which basically on this list, Wolverine Origins looks like an Oscar film. But I mean, it's interesting. I was not surprised that Fantastic Four took it. What's surprising to me was that Superman 4 was that high. Either our demographic of Twitter followers has seen that and been exposed to it, but
Wait, so was the poll just out of those four, or was it like out
just
of
those
how many?
four.
Well, that's the thing. Is like because there are lesser known, like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, perhaps, or Howard the
Mm.
Duck, or things like that, that are more the cult type movies that I'm sure would have probably beat out the new Fantastic Four.
Don't get me wrong, my Dolph Lundgren Punisher. I like that movie.
Or even, well, I mean, I know a lot of people hated the Punisher with Thomas Jane in it.
Or Ben Affleck Daredevil, or Elektra.
Oh, yeah, we should have put that one in there. I hate that.
Max and I-
there's a bunch of crappy superhero movies that I don't even feel like this is even fair. Right? I mean, you have Superman 4 in there, but you don't have Superman Returns with frickin' Brandon Routh. That movie was fucking terrible.
That was just boring. It was an okay film.
Yes, you could say the same thing about the new Fantastic Four movie. Is just like the worst thing about it is the most boring thing you've ever seen.
It had a plot? I never saw it, so I couldn't say.
To be
I
fair,
don't know, like that the choices were kind of weird, but I didn't think they were entirely wrong. I would have guessed that Batman and Robin would have done. Was that the worst one?
no, Fantastic Four was.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, see, I think Batman and Robin is worse than the Fantastic Four.
But it's laughably worse. And I think, honestly, people just want us to talk about things dick even more.
There you go. That might be.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, at least they did finally just say that Reed Richards cut off the thing's dick with science.
Oh, we're bringing it back. Dan?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you guys. I mean, I was just thinking, you know, instead of blinding me with science, you castrated me with science. But that's all.
I like it. That's better. It just doesn't have the catchy song to go with it, Dan. That's the only
Yeah,
problem we have.
well,
We gotta work on that. Oh, there we go with our Thing music video.
Castrated me with science.
Oh my, that would be entertaining. All right, so this is something I kind of want to bring up because I ran into this trailer watching a YouTube video the other day, and it's a movie called Hardcore Henry. So I don't know if anyone's seen it, but if you haven't, it's basically a new trailer for a first-person POV movie. The first thing I thought was, oh, this must be an advertisement for a video game, but then it keeps going, and you're like, oh, okay, there's kind of a story here, and I'm unsure on what I feel about this. Like, I don't know if I would go to the theater to watch this. I think, to me, from what I saw of it, I was like, oh, this could be kind of an interesting perspective for like a short movie, a 30 to 60-minute movie. That could be interesting. I just don't know how a 90-minute movie would work. But that's just my opinion. Dan, you want to go? No? Mike? All right, we'll go to Mike. I know Mike is interested.
Well, because I'd seen this trailer a couple of months ago, actually, before they put the Henry part on. It was just known as Hardcore.
Yeah.
And it's an independent film, so for the fact that it's going to be like claiming to be the first ever POV action film, but also that it's, you know, independently funded, or I think it was crowdfunded, or, you know, in that aspect, I believe there was kind of a campaign to finance it a little bit. And as long as the action is pretty crisp, from what I saw, I actually saw it in the theater with Deadpool. It was one of the previews that we got.
Oh.
And, I mean, the picture quality and everything like that is really crisp. At no point did I feel disoriented. I mean, disoriented within the realm of the characters disoriented too. I get that. But, like, at no point do I get, like, that typical motion sickness I get with a lot of other found footage type stuff, or point of view type stuff. And, you know, as long as the action's good and intense and everything like that, and there is something of a good story propelling it, I'll be interested to see it. It's got Charto Copley is in it from was it District 9?
Okay.
He shows up in it for a little bit, so they got a quality actor at least. So I'm curious to see what it does. It could be a total disaster. I'm not denying that, but at the same time, my interest is peaked at least.
I gotcha.
Indiegogo funding, Max says.
Yeah, it was an Indiegogo. Max?
I'm excited to see this one. It looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm not sure how quickly it'll get like boring, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm tired of watching somebody play Doom. But I mean, I
Call of
don't know.
Duty.
The movie looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a bunch of crazy stuff goes on, and you know, it'll be a refreshing new thing. I feel like it's gonna be a lot like, you know, Blair Witch and Cloverfield and things of that nature, where, you know, it's kind of a fresh take on that style of movie, and then like it's gonna do pretty good, better than people expected, and then everyone's gonna hop on that bandwagon, and then people are gonna be done with it in a week and a half. And so I feel like it'll do all right. It looks like a lot of fun, but I'm not sure how many of this style of movie, like, you know, we could see. I'm kind of interested to see, you know, if the movie does well, how many copycats we get.
I mean, you know, immediately you're gonna get. Well, I don't know, that's gonna be interesting to see how many people are willing to try that. Yeah, that's the other thing. When I first watched this as well, when I gave up on being a video game, I thought, oh, maybe this is for, you know, VR. I was like, I could actually see that maybe working in a VR setting if it's not too disturbing, and that's what I thought at first. So I wouldn't be surprised if Max isn't at least correct in that realm, that they actually start to hardcore advertise, because this is the year that most of the devices are going to be consumer ready and released. So it'll be interesting to see kind of what that brings us as well. Dan, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I'll watch this because it looks like it's gonna be a horrendous failure.
I like it.
No, I mean, I was watching the trailer and it gave me flashbacks to like the old 3DO games, you know, where you were like in the game and they were so like proud that they could have like full motion video. So you know, I'll like be in the theater watching this, wondering when I'm supposed to hit like up left and A to like punch the guy in front of me.
Nice. All right. A little bit of lag there. So I guess and then the next topic I have was an interesting trailer that got released. It's the final trailer for Batman v Superman. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is the Batman movie. And then you're kind of like, yeah, it's interesting. It was a very different perspective, and it shows Ben Affleck can be Batman. And I thought it was a really good trailer. I thought it sold the movie well. I think it would have been more interesting if they could have broken up the other trailers to kind of match this tone. Maybe do like a Superman-centric or do something else. But on an end note to end with, I guess, is a very strong trailer. It'll be interesting because I guess there's also the rumor mill running around as well that DC is scared. We'll see how true that is. I mean, I would think if they're scared, it's a little too late to be scared now, considering, 4 weeks, if that? So that's going to be interesting to see kind of like how this actually goes. I'm excited. Did this one pique my interest anymore? I don't know about that. I think it just kind of proved to me Ben Affleck can be Batman. I think the next question everyone has is, can Eisenberg be Luthor? Max, you're our resident Batman.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I really like this trailer. I wish they would have done the Deadpool thing and just played this trailer from the very beginning and gone on from and not done all the marketing that we've seen. I was very sad to see this trailer because I was like, oh great, now I've officially seen the whole movie through trailers. And
Dan, can you pick up for Max?
You will not drop me.
Oh, Max is back.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was super cool. It was awesome seeing Batman doing Batman things. I wasn't worried about Ben Affleck doing Batman, but it's good to have finally some definite, like, oh yeah, you think he's gonna suck? Well, check this out. But yeah, I'd say Jesse Eisenberg again is my biggest fear for the movie. I think Lex Luthor has always been kind of not done correctly, and we'll see how they do it from this one. But Yeah, I mean, like, it's more Batman, which I'm not really for, or more Batman v Superman, which I'm not really for, because I just want to see the movie. I don't want the whole movie to get spoiled before I go see it. But it is also, on the other hand, a super awesome trailer, and it's cool to see Batman fucking people up.
Dan?
Yeah, I think they pretty much showed us the whole movie. So, we'll just see like slightly longer scenes of what we've seen, trailers, just with more talking bits.
I like it. Yeah, yeah, I agree with Max very much still on that topic about, like, they really should have focused, because it would have been, that's what would have been interesting to me, is completely turn this on itself and just show us a Batman movie where maybe it doesn't even focus on Batman, but that would be interesting. And then what's this movie? I thought it's Batman v Superman, and at the end you're like, oh, okay, I guess there's a fight. What's going on? That I think would have been better. A little bit more mystery. Warner Brothers. Mike?
Yeah, I really like this trailer quite a bit, and even though the last trailer, which showed off, yeah, like Max was saying, pretty much everything, including Battletoad Doomsday, like, I was okay with that trailer, honestly. I was fine. It was just kind of my fanboy mind going like, oh my god, I can't believe we're finally going to get a Doomsday in on the big screen. So at that time, sure, that excited me enough. But now with this trailer, I'm like, man, I wish we didn't have that trailer that kind of spoiled everything. Like, this should have been trailer number whatever that was, in lieu of the
Doomsday.
Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, in lieu of the Doomsday Battletoad Jimmy Kimmel trailer they showed. Like, this should have been the trailer, and that was it. Like, with regards to some of the marketing stuff, like their Super Bowl stuff they did last week with the Turkish Airlines, I thought was kind of funny and good, kind of fit into that world a little bit. And yeah, you didn't have to sell me on Ben Affleck as Batman with this trailer because I was already sold. So I think out of everything, like, this movie will probably end up maybe being as polarizing as Man of Steel was for critics and audiences alike. Or, it could be better, could be dog shit. But I feel the one saving grace will be probably Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, so I guess kind of what I'm going to go into a little bit more of what the rumor mill is saying. That basically this movie has been testing poorly, which, again, I doubt, but maybe. So poorly that Warner Brothers is basically going to fire Snyder, going to delay the Justice League movies, move Batman all the way up to the next slotted movie. Not this year, obviously, because Suicide Squad. Which, this is the hilarious part, is apparently Warner Brothers is so confident in Suicide Squad, they think that's going to be a major success. Which, again, I think that's backwards, but I will swallow that and continue with what the story is. Which then means Ben Affleck will do his Batman movie, which actually, from what we saw here, could be really cool. But anyways, and then he gets to take curator of the Warner Brothers DC universe. I'm not sure I buy that. I think it would be interesting if you gave Ben Affleck that much control, but at the same time, I have a feeling Affleck would be the kind of guy that got, nah, I'm bored, later, and just bail on it.
Well, I think that the thing about the Suicide Squad thing, perhaps, and again, this is all just speculation and rumors,
Yeah, absolutely.
but David Ayer has a far better track record
Oh,
with
okay,
his movies than Zack Snyder does.
sure.
I mean,
I
Zack
agree.
Snyder can bring in the moolah for sure, and no matter how well or not so well this movie is being received, people are still going to go see it regardless. So it is going to make that money, and it'll probably take a while for the word of mouth to really kill this thing if it's that much of a stinker.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it has more to do with the fact, probably, if that part of the rumor is to be believed, is because Suicide Squad is directed by a director who, or is handled by a team that has had more consistency with its quality. And who knows, maybe that, as with regards to letting Affleck kind of get control over the DC universe, I don't know, that I can't see him being that type of person who want to do that, because now that he's been doing his own thing with regards to writing and directing very well and consistent as well. I don't see how much he would want to kind of sacrifice his creative efforts and time towards the company, as it were. Kind of like what Edgar Wright probably was facing with Ant-Man and everything like that.
Yeah, probably very true. Dan, do you have any thoughts on this? Oh, you're muted, Dan.
Yeah, I know I'm muted. Hold on.
Okay.
Talking to myself for a second. Now I'll talk to you.
Glad to hear it.
Like Ben Affleck is gonna take the whole DC universe and run with it. Like every character is gonna be him.
That would be
Flash
awesome.
now. Well, I don't know. It seems kind of far fetched. But then like their track record isn't the greatest. So I could see them just totally botching the entire thing. I hope they don't, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't think that Affleck would want that whole thing on his shoulders.
I agree with you, Dan. I think he likes his. It was like what Mike was saying. His creativity, his freedom. He actually has found something he's amazing at now.
Well, don't get me wrong.
I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to, but like doing that would be like stuck there.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
don't get me wrong. I'm sure he wants to be like Robert Downey Jr. levels of like associated with this property as much as possible. But yeah, like Robert Downey Jr. is not directing any Marvel movies. He just shows up in them and gets paid well, and he becomes a superhero icon in that sense. I'm sure Ben Affleck probably has no qualms with that side of it, but just like with regards to, man, you want me to handle this unwieldy contraption that hasn't proven itself yet? No thanks.
Yeah, seriously. Not only that, it's not even that it hasn't proven itself, but, well, we think it's going down the tube. We need you to save it. Which I just don't see that. I think you do need a passion for this, which is what Feige has. And I think to some extent Snyder does have. Maybe we need to pull Snyder back and actually make him just a curator and actually bring in directors. Maybe that's a better solution to me. I think that way they can then get that going, but I don't know. Mike?
I mean, that's the thing is, too, is I've been saying this since the beginning, is this whole DC expanded universe thing is completely knee-jerk to what Marvel's doing.
Yep.
Like they're putting the railroad together as the train's moving on it. Like it's not the way Marvel was, where maybe that's how the whole thing started out with the first Iron Man, but then they're like, okay, let's take a break at this station and then build several miles of track before we do that. Like DC, it really feels, on the movie side of things, it really feels like they're just making it up as they go along with it and saying like, well, this is definitely what's going to be different about our movies compared to Marvel's. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you just started the Wonder Woman stuff, and that's supposed to be coming next year, and you're talking about this, and this for Justice League, but now rumors about you getting rid of the guy who's supposed to be helming that. Okay. Here's the whole deal. Bring back George Miller to do Justice League. He had an idea for it. Bring him back into the fold. He's obviously still got what it takes to make great action movies. So, yeah, give Miller a second swing at that.
For sure.
Literally and figuratively.
I love it. Max?
Yeah, like I don't know. The rumor mill is just that. It's the rumor mill. It's people freaking out for no reason. I don't see this movie, like, it may not do as well as I want, but I don't see it flopping.
Mm-hmm.
So I this is all just like, like nerds pulling their hair out for no reason. Us nerds, we're a fickle bunch, and we freak out a little too easily, a little too often. So I think once everybody like sees the movie, I mean, Batman, I feel like can carry the movie even if it is bad. So.
And this is where I need a cover of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't panic.
I swear to God, I'm here. But nah, I think this is just bullshit. People freaking out. Like, I mean, I guess I'm just gonna go set my hair on fire because Batman versus Superman may be a bad movie.
Exactly. May. That's the other part. that's the part that's been driving me nuts about this. Is because I kept reading about it, and I'm like, there really is no corroborated story of actually saying that. Oh, at least 10% of people say this is horrible. It's like, what? I was like, why would we continue with this? But it's been everywhere, so I figured we needed to talk about it.
You're just gonna have to spend your money and find out for yourself.
Oh, I'm done. That's happening.
It's like, yeah, that's happening regardless. So
Exactly. If nothing else, I will pay my money and see a train wreck. If that's the case, that is life. They got me interested with the previous trailers, so even if I have seen the whole movie, I'm hoping not, but I don't know. I don't know how much more. Supposedly we got Aquaman, so we haven't seen that yet. So there we go.
But you haven't seen all the talking bits. You see, that's just because he's not in the action. There's just the talking scene with him.
it's
Like-
one scene. It's one scene. He shows up with what's her name, Khaleesi, for a little bit, and
Nice.
Bob's your uncle.
They all have breakfast, and then Doomsday comes in.
I'll have breakfast out of it. All right, so that's it for topics. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to bring up. I'm gonna go with no. We're gonna hop to comic book news,
I got
Max.
something. Hold on.
Oh, you got some. All right.
Yeah, I got a little something. Let me just acquire my notes here.
I have something as well. If it isn't what Max is going to be talking about.
It's probably not. We've got 2 weeks to the Fuller House premiere.
Okay.
Fuck you, Max.
Is that the same thing?
No, but thanks for reminding me about that.
Yeah, Fuller House. It's gonna be awesome.
And I'm indifferent, even though I think I'm by my wife going to be forced to go watch that show, but at Jason's house no less.
I saw the preview on what show was the clip they did for The View or something like that. I was like, oh man, I remember this. It hasn't changed one bit.
Yeah, I know. That was the crazy part. He showed me the trailer, and I'm like, really? Okay, I guess. Whatever. All right.
Dan, what do you think?
Nope.
Fuller House.
I think his answer was direct.
That's what I say.
All right, Mike. What's your topic?
Well, this is rumor mill, of course, but not really rumor because the guy in question did tweet out a pic of him being like wanting to lay down some cable in response to in response to the big movie pull of the weekend, which was Deadpool.
Yes.
Stephen Lang tweeted out a pic of himself saying, I think I'm trying to lay down some cable here, and like showed himself flexing biceps. Like apparently he wants to be Cable in the Deadpool sequel,
Nice.
which I'm all for that. That
So
would be kind of badass.
So, you watched the after credit scene, right, Mike? Because I can't remember what it was. Did they say they hired Cable or they were looking for Cable?
No, they hadn't cast him yet, but he was like saying essentially like, sorry,
Cable's gonna be
Dan, earmuffs. Okay. So yeah,
just casting for Deadpool 2, which he already knows about.
Yeah, he was just casting for Deadpool 2 and saying like, yeah, we're gonna try to have Cable in it, but we haven't had an actor yet. It's probably gonna be big, built, whatever. I'd say Stephen Lang would be a good choice.
I can't say I know who that is. Dan?
I don't know. I didn't get to hear anything because I had earmuffs on.
Lang is Cable.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he actually would be interesting. I just looked him up. Yeah, definitely would be an interesting guy. I remember him in a couple shows. I can't remember if I remember a movie that he was in. And then Max?
He was the bad guy in Avatar.
Ah, that's what it was.
I don't know if I like that pick as Cable. That
What, younger?
I'm just like,
nah, I don't like that. I hope that's not true. That's a bad rumor. Nerds, calm down with that mess.
You gotta tell him to do it, man. He wants it.
Well, he
Stephen
can calm
Lang?
down too. I'm sorry, you're not good enough for the job.
No, good.
So
Nice.
Stephen Lang and Michael Jai White have appointments to punch Max.
I mean, again, I'll say it right to his face and get punched in the face. That's my.
I think his internet got punched to the face.
This thing does not want me on this
Yeah,
podcast.
he's back.
Stephen Lang and Michael Jai White got together and cut off Max's.
Yeah, they keep on cutting off my shit. Michael Jai White keeps on kung fu kicking my internet connection or something.
Exactly.
He was behind the building, like with the pair of shears. Oh no!
All right.
Gotta stop this shit right now.
I got one more. The Lethal Weapon pilot was ordered with Damon Wayans to star as Murtaugh. They don't have Riggs cast yet.
What? How can you have a pilot with no Murtaugh? I mean, with no Riggs.
Well, I mean, they just haven't cast him yet, but they want Damon Wayans to do Murtaugh.
When you've got the incredible star power of a Wayans brother, who can equal that?
Where's this pilot gonna be? I'm curious. It'd be interesting to know what that's gonna be on. I don't know. That's odd, to say the least.
It's gonna be weird too, because there's a Rush Hour series that's coming.
Really?
On
I didn't
CBS.
hear about that
Yeah,
either.
they did an ad for it on CBS last week.
Wow.
It's already
Why?
like in production, and I think it's set to go. I forget who plays the.
I'll get it here in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like. Oh wow, two guys I don't know. John Fu and Justin Hires.
Nice, I guess. So we're gonna have Lethal Weapon on one network, and then Rush Hour on,
Yeah,
which is basically Lethal Weapon except with an Asian guy.
yeah, basically. Lethal Weapon.
I can't wait for
Heading to
that crossover.
Fox. What's that, Dan? You can't wait either. You're excited?
No, I can't wait for that crossover. You have like the Lethal Weapon.
And what the hell? Let's get a Shanghai Noon or a 48 Hours pilot in there while we're at it. Jeez.
48 hours. Actually, this sounds like this should be 48 hours, but
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, who knows? They'll probably rearrange it. That's hilarious. I guess 21 Jump Street made the move up. Wow, we need to look back in the 80s and figure out what's going to happen. This seems to be where everyone's going back for creativity. They're like, wait a minute, this is a decent movie. We need to turn it into a TV series. And this was an okay TV series, I guess, 21 Jump Street. I don't know if I would go okay, but turn it into a completely different movie, which I guess was better for it. Yeah. I can see everyone's indifference here.
We got the DC expanded universe on TV. This is going to be the 80s action cliche universe expanded on.
I mean, it would be cool if all the 80s movies like lived in the same universe, like, you know, Predator is happening in Terminator and all that stuff is, you know, Lethal Weapons all happening at the same time and in the same universe. I'd be 100% down for that.
Me too, honestly.
Danny Murtaugh on his day off has to go track the Predator. And then the aliens come.
That's what Predator 2 was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, man.
As long as we get that Die Hard Family Matters thing going.
He's like,
oh, that'd be awesome.
He's like Riggs, you won't believe the shit I saw today. Bodies hanging from the ceiling, skinned alive.
But that's what made Riggs crazy when he was in Vietnam.
Nice. Now this actually, I think we actually have an interesting premise.
Pay us, Hollywood. We're throwing gold.
Flesh this out a bit more, and we too can have our own primetime series that's going to get moved to Sunday night.
Pitching out these golden ideas and doing our parts to save local cinemas out in your area. Come on.
That's so true. If nothing else, we should get funded by George Lucas.
All right. Did I have any news? Oh yeah. Top Gear Britain, for all you guys that care, I love that show. Top Gear is actually starting up. They fired their whole cast, and Matt LeBlanc is going to be on a car show.
What?
Yeah, it's Top Gear Britain, and Matt LeBlanc is one of the hosts of it.
I like the original Top Gear Britain. I don't know if I will like that remake.
Yeah, one of the guys got fired because he punched the producer in the face, and
Yeah.
the other two guys
quit, right? Well, I will
Quit,
continue
yeah.
the story for Max. They quit because they didn't want to.
Every fucking time.
I think I finished the story for you, but continue.
Yeah, so they all left. They're starting a show on Amazon. It's going to be a car show that they're doing. That's going to be coming out later this year. But now British Top Gear is going to have 7 hosts, and Matt LeBlanc
7.
is one of them.
Wow.
They're doing everything in their power to keep my Friends reunion from happening. Damn it.
All right.
It's okay because in like 3 years, like they'll have the entire cast of Friends doing Top Gear.
They're all gonna be
Yeah, that could be possible.
Especially if I'm not
Well, the other thing that could be hurting you is that what the American People versus O.J. Simpson? Because oh gosh, who's the guy? I can't even think of his name now. Not Matthew Perry.
David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer
Well, if he's
is
still
actually doing pretty good. Is Matthew Perry still alive? I'm pretty sure.
David Schwimmer, didn't he drink himself to death? I'm sorry, that's me. I love David Schwimmer. I love Friends. Come on.
Oh man.
Didn't they do a Friends reunion this year? Didn't that dumb shit happen?
Yeah.
They made a movie, I thought. Didn't they do something?
Is there a Friends movie? That would be a fucking terrible movie.
Well, a TV movie.
They all just show up on their own shows. Like, I know Lisa Kudrow's had basically almost everybody on her web therapy thing, and they've had, like, reunions in other shows, kind of.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Nothing happening. Yeah, watch footage of NBC's Friends reunion. I don't know what
Dude,
that is.
I'd rather see that than Fuller House. Come on.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't know why. Well, I guess. So what I would love to see is Family Matters or even Step by Step come back. Those are at least more entertaining shows.
Whatever. You just watch Jaleel White on Drunk History right now. He did I forget, he was one historical figure on Drunk History, and he did a really damn good job.
Nice. That's awesome. All right, so I think that covers our topics, unless Dan's got something.
Yes.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, that's all my general topics.
All right. So I'll hop into video game news. This is one that I think most video game guys will appreciate, well, fans, guys and girls. I'm not trying to be exclusive here. Assassin's Creed is delayed to 2017, which it's funny that they didn't do this. They waited until basically this major horrible flop, basically, with a buggy game that got released. When almost everybody I knew, I'm not a big Assassin's Creed guy, but pretty much everyone told me, you need to wait about every 2 years, and then you get a good one. So it seems like they're actually recognizing the value they need to bring and the polish that they need to do, as well as I think new ideas, because a lot of people were beginning to question where they were going, because it was like, hey, well, let's change the setting, because I think the last one was, oh gosh, was it 4? Syndicate, yeah. I was gonna say a 4 was also interesting because it was you were a pirate and you actually like got to be on the boat, and I was like, oh, okay, that's actually interesting. I actually played that one. I enjoyed that one a lot. But most of the other ones, it was pretty much, all right, you're in a time period, figure this out.
It might also have to deal with the fact that wasn't Unity like super glitchy?
Oh yeah, it was awful.
No.
Like there was all kinds of things. Some people it was completely unplayable. I think for the first few months until they released a patch, and then at which point you flopped.
So if they're planning on expanding, they might be like, okay, how do we avoid this issue for the future if we're planning on doing something fresh? Like, at this point, why don't they just take it to Japan, like home of a lot of kick-ass assassins?
Exactly, yeah, that's what I think they need to do. I mean, they attempted to do that with, I believe, 2, where they actually brought in, like, the American Revolution and that kind of thing.
3. But
That was
Oh,
3.
it's 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it also might have to deal with the fact that the Fassbender movie is landing. Maybe they want to see how that goes over, and maybe that will kind of shape their focus and direction from there to be like, okay, maybe we can just tie it in with whatever we're doing in the movieverse if the movie turns out to be good, which a good video game movie, we kind of need one of those.
Yeah. It would be a first, that's for sure.
Oh, sorry, this is kind of video game related news too, because apparently Sony is thinking possibly about doing a live-action Sonic the Hedgehog movie, which would
What?
Yeah, this was an article that I read earlier in the week. It was like, yeah, they want to do a live-action Sonic, and it would be along the lines of like uber, like Ninja Turtles, uber realistic Sonic the Hedgehog looking like Shrek or something. I don't know.
Oh my
With
god.
maybe Zach Galifianakis as Dr. Robotnik.
But think of the big picture. You see, you make your Sonic movie, and then you can have Sonic meets, Super Mario Brothers with Bob Hoskins.
He's dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Tie his ass in there. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Leguizamo's not gonna allow them to say CGI his ass in there, and he's not gonna volunteer to do it either.
So,
it's fine. I mean,
needless to say, I hope Assassin's Creed is good, because otherwise we'll have that.
Oh god, yes. Oh god, I don't want to see the. That's just gonna bring poor kids nightmares, because there's no way they can make a realistic-looking Sonic the Hedgehog look friendly. Oh my gosh. Whatever. That's awful, awful news.
I actually love that movie, so yeah.
Which one?
The Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
You like the concept of it? Oh.
No. Now don't think that I think it's going to be a good movie. I just want to see like how horrifying they can make it.
An unintentional horror movie? Is that what you're talking there?
I mean, like, are they gonna make it like live action Sonic movie? Are they gonna use like a real looking hedgehog? Those things aren't fast.
That's awesome.
You got to grow him like to 6 foot and make him like blue and huge.
They're gonna Michael Bay the shit out of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Exactly.
There you go.
They're gonna have to explain how he got mutated. Maybe they'll have the crossover. Maybe he'll just appear as a bad guy in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
At least I think that could sell more. I don't know by itself. Is he really popular?
Shia LaBeouf as Sonic, so it actually gives,
Oh god, I'm
it
mutated.
gives justification for him going whoa 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 because he's going so fast.
That would be awesome. Oh, I don't know if that would be good, but that would be entertaining. Oh man, Dan, do you have any other video game news?
No. Although I would like to make a point that
Go ahead.
Part 3 and 4 of the Assassin's Creed ones relied on story.
Yep.
Unity, its strongest part was the people forming with no face. It's hilarious.
Just like eyeballs.
Glad for that clarity.
Yeah, you're just floating eyeballs and teeth moving around. It's great.
Yeah. Quite buggy. Max's neck. Comic book news.
All right, comic book news. Here we go. There are going to be 11 new 52 variant covers for the 11 new 52 variant covers for issue number 52. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Sorry, I gotta read my notes and I'm an idiot. The 11 new 52 titles that are still running are getting variant covers for their 52nd issue. Check those out. It's gonna be let me see here. Wonder Woman, Superman, Detective Comics, Flash, Action Comics, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Catwoman, Batman, and what the hell is BG?
I don't know.
Batgirl. Yep. Batgirl.
Sure.
So yeah, those are all getting cool new 52 variant covers. Check those out.
And
Oh
they're
yeah.
doing,
What?
they're doing the soft reboot over there, right?
Yeah, they're having some sort of major crisis event. I don't even give a fuck. Then we've got the DC Thomas the Tank Engine collaboration here. There's gonna be 30 characters tankified, including Batman, Superman, Solomon Grundy, Bane, Wonder Woman, Batgirl, and there's a whole bunch more. You can check those out online. They're pretty cute and funny. So that's pretty cool for your kids there. And check out Bill and Ted Go to Hell, the 4-part miniseries, starting up February 17th. That's got Brian Joines as a writer, and I don't know if you say Bakken or Bachan, Bachan. I don't know if he has. He's sort of like a Madonna. He doesn't have a last name or a first name. It's just Bachan. He's the artist, but that looks actually pretty funny. I might check that out. And that's all the comic book news I got.
I gotcha. And that was perfect. That's all the comic book news I got dropped.
At least you let me get to the end before it dropped me that time.
Yeah, it was actually perfect. It was like you dropping the mic and just rolling out.
But yeah, that's it. That's it for comic book news.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you all have anything else? I did like your mic drop, Max. That was beautiful. All right. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Please don't forget to check us out on Stitcher and iTunes. I am working on getting us back up to speed. I've been slacking this past week, but I'm in the process of moving. So we'll be back. But Stitcher and iTunes, as well as, of course, YouTube if you're watching us here live or in playback. As well, please like and subscribe us everywhere. And leave comments. If you have hate, we take hate. If you have love, we'll take love too. We are not discriminatory towards comments, and as well, like if you have anything, send it into 3geekspodcast@gmail.com, and we'll definitely mention it in our next podcast that we do. The weekly one that we've been usually doing, 3 Geeks Podcast, will probably be where it's referenced. But if you need to get it to one of the other programs, we can absolutely forward it on. Thank you all, and have a good night.